We've all been waiting for this for a long time. It's time to get Garfield back in the shop. We got the John Deere fired up. We're about to get him in the spot where he'll get some much needed love. Well, because Garfield's angled in here now, we have to try and push it over and make it straight. Whoa.
Let's try again.
Okay. There we go. Holy. Keep going?
Yeah, it's gotta go more.
Yep.
Okay.
More?
Oh, it looks pretty straight. Finally got it up on the lift. That lift's big enough. I feel safe. It's going to be a fun time tomorrow.
Yep. Tomorrow we'll pull the transmission, yank that NV4500 out of there, and get the slave cylinder replaced so that it is drivable again. It's going to be awesome. See y'all tomorrow. Welcome to Flying Sparks Garage. I'm Emily, a professional model, actress, and gearhead.
And I'm Aaron, a diesel mechanic, pilot, and a lover of anything with an engine. The only thing we're experts at is doing our best.
He teaches me persistence.
And she teaches me patience. All these machines we love are catalysts for making memories.
And we are so happy you're here as we seek adventures and learn as we go. We're back. We have a plan together for Garfield. I'm getting ready to jump in the truck and pump the crap out of the clutch. The problem that we've been having with this dang thing is it's been hanging in gear, and it makes it really super sketchy to drive.
Yeah, what she means is the pressure is bleeding off of the slave cylinder. So you can pump it up, get it in gear, but it slowly comes up so that if you are in gear, you can't push the clutch and have it disengage. And so that is impossible to drive. So it's either leaking fluid, it's bypassing fluid, it's doing something. We think it's leaking out, but we haven't been able to tell because it's slammed on the ground, but now it's on the lift. So she's gonna try and make it leak. I'm gonna crawl under and see if I can see exactly where it's coming from. And we're gonna get fixed.
That's the plan. So I'm gonna jump in the truck and he is going to jump underneath. Not jump, but roll underneath
Yes.
the truck and see if he can find the leak.
Yep.
I'll be there in a second, Finley. By the way, we just put together our new really rad creeper from Viper. This company, Viper, they make these chairs that are really badass. They are expensive, but they are worth it. They're made in the USA, a family-owned company, and they're just awesome. They do a wonderful job on social media, so we've been really just honored to work with them. But they just came out with this creeper, and it's so cool, y'all. It has a headrest that comes up and down, and it's just really rad. So
If you're gonna spend money on something in the shop, creepers.
yeah, and you're
Gosh,
freaking
they get so frustrating whenever they sag in the middle and they drag on the ground.
yeah. And we were laughing about when we put these chairs together. They're so heavy duty. Aaron was like, my grandkids are going to enjoy this chair.
Exactly.
It's really beef, which we're excited about. I forgot how little the travel is on this clutch.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, stopping.
Let me get my camera out.
Okay. That means you see some action?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, press the clutch. Pump it. Yep, that is coming from the slave cylinder.
Straight from the bell housing, just coming down.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. Transmission's coming out.
Okay, so if this is your first time seeing this truck, let me give you a rundown on this build. It's a C20, so it's not a half ton, it's a 1 ton truck. So we did 1 ton air ride. We C-notched the frame. The air ride is from Ride Tech, and we were so pleased with the kit that we used. It works amazingly well, and we're so excited to be actually getting ready to drive the truck again after it being down for so long. But we didn't have a lift heavy enough, well, heavy enough in capacity terms to pick the whole truck up again. It just made us nervous to pick it up on our old lift. So it's just been parked. Not a good excuse, but it was our excuse. As far as power plant goes, it's got a ZZ350 from like the 90s that the people put in it that owned it before us. It's a great running motor, 350, obviously, and it's just got a good old 4150 Holley carb. The headers on it are from Hooker, and they're great. What else? Oh, it's got an NV4500 transmission out of a 98 Chevy pickup. And then the rear end is a 12 bolt out of that same truck, right? 14 bolt, sorry. 14 bolt out of that same 98 Chevy. So we put a lot of really good parts under this truck. Oh yeah, we did do vintage air on the truck, so it's got AC and heat, and it works amazingly well. The gauge cluster from LMC looks beautiful in here. I love this steering wheel from LMC. And then I recovered the seat, which is one of my least favorite jobs, but the most rewarding when you recover stuff. And I really like this seat cover. The air ride is operated by a phone on an app. So you can stand outside the truck and operate the air ride. It's really trick. Pretty fancy for us. It also has this little thing that plugs in that's like, you can have your presets, and you can have like, you know, high ride height, like cruising ride height, and like aired out ride height for your presets. And that plugs into a cigarette outlet right down there where you can program that. It's pretty snazzy. Oh, and the wheels are from Detroit Steel, and those guys just like do such a fantastic job on wheels, and they are, you know, made in America. They are in Detroit, Michigan, like banging these wheels out, and they are such good people. So if you want these wheels, all you have to do is tell them you want the wheels off Garfield the truck, and they know which ones those are. That looks dangerous, right? Thankfully, I have all of my fingers intact, and I have trimmed where I can access my front bolts. So the shifter is now coming out. Yes. There she is. Okay, now we can pull the transmission down. So, another issue that we're dealing with on this truck is we think that we may have gone with the wrong intake when we built it.
It's been a long time. You guys might know better than we do. There was something funny about the bolts over here, and we had to drill the intake, and we're feeling like it's not sealing right, like there's a vacuum leak. It just runs kind of funny. And that number 8 cylinder is getting coolant in it. And it's probably from that intake, but we'll know when we look at the gasket.
So we're gonna pull the intake off and see if we can figure out what went wrong there.
Yep.
And maybe buy another intake.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're getting ready to attack now. And something that we just figured out setting up this shot, because we always have lights like these that we got on Amazon that like light our situation, but it's usually dark under the hood and we cannot ever figure out how to really light it well. And we got this kick-ass light from BenPack, and it hooks on a hood, and we didn't think at first that it was gonna extend to hook on this wide hood, but then it came out with this like second little arms, like extended version, and it got big enough to extend out, and it's 2 racks of LEDs, so it like really brightens it up. We're so happy about this. Like all these things in our shop that are gonna make our job easy and easier and nicer, and add that to the list. That's awesome. We're obviously draining the coolant out of it. Once that's done, then we'll start disassembling more. Ow. Oh my gosh.
I'm glad you didn't break that fan shroud.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Oh, hurt my whip. Like, ow. It's not bleeding though, that's good. That joker was on there. I mean, like rusted, corroded. Charlie bit me. Okay, I'm gonna get the vacuum and suck some mouse turds from the intake. I did take a picture of how the distributor is oriented right now, so that when we stab it, we have a point of reference. Out she goes.
So I figured out what happened with the intake. Because of these center bolt valve covers, I assumed this was a Vortec head when I ordered the intake. Vortec heads have bolts that go down straight here. See how these are angled? These would have been straight. So in order to put it on, I drilled that so that we could get a bolt going sideways, and it's never sealed right. So we need the traditional intake that all the bolts go in at an angle. So that's what we're gonna go buy.
Part of the problem that we get ourselves into is we order parts and then we get ourselves crunched down on a build so much where we have like 3 days to finish it until we find out something is wrong, and then we just kind of have to make it work. And likely that's what we went through with this intake, was we were like, we gotta drill it out, we gotta make it work, we don't have time. So now 3 years later, yeah, 4 years later, we'll make it right. But you guys, this truck cruised across the country. I don't know how long Power Tour was that year, but usually we see about 4,000 miles on our builds on Power Tour. So while we never claim to be amazing builders, we absolutely claim to build that drives across the country.
Man, that feels like there's a bolt at the back. I don't think so.
There it is. Ouch. Got her. Oh. I need to polish my valve covers up, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's been doing some investigating.
Yeah, so right here by that bolt that was the problem, this was a water port. I believe water was going from here right into that intake. So that would have been why we were having a spark plug that always jumped up on the side. I thought it was number 8, but it may have been number 6. It's been a long time since we drove it, so.
Yeah, so that was a water outlet right there. Right here is right next to that port. So it was like water flow was coming right there and then getting into that cylinder through the intake runner. Dang. Is that right?
Yeah, we're gonna pull that spark plug and verify that's the one, but I bet that's why it was kind of having a miss and not running right. I also think there was a vacuum leak on that intake because it just, I don't know, it just didn't run right.
That would make sense. It's not.
Yeah, and it ran great
Suction
before we
down.
changed the intake out, so I think we caused it.
Yeah. Likely.
Yep.
I think I got it broken loose off camera because I was just raining curse words. Okay, here she comes.
Look all right. It's wet.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because it's oily, but I guess antifreeze is oil. Yeah, like look around the base here. It looks like watery.
Yep. Okay, we'll get number 8 out and see what it looks like.
Yeah, that one doesn't look like wet per se.
Good.
I don't think.
No, it's not like the other one. Okay, cool. Oh, put that in there.
It's been soaking in the moisture. Let's get some freaking freeze off on it or something. All this suffering. Ugh. I like it. Freeze off for the win. Both of them are loosened. Boom shaka laka laka. Truck could use to be just a skosh higher.
It's about to go a lot higher.
Yeah. 2 volt. Truck could use to be just a skosh higher.
Yeah, it's about to go a lot higher.
Yeah. 2 volt. And the third one on this side.
Up the top.
Dang, it feels nice to have a powerful tool in your hand.
Yes, it does.
Getting it all secured. Oh yeah, nice. Super good.
There's the problem child right there.
Hello, sir.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, she's out.
Cool.
And this is leaking a bunch. It was a good productive day in the shop. Transmission is down, we got the slave cylinder off. We know that that thing's the problem, and I think we know that we need to replace the intake as well, and we've got part numbers, and I think the plan is to zip our fancy little selves up to Summit and grab the stuff that we need. So next time we see y'all, that's where we'll be.
Hey! She never lets me talk. I didn't have anything to say. I just, jeez. Let me say something every once in a while.
Never say never, baby. Start at this day off.
See you later. Bye.
Alrighty, we just zipped up to the counter. There was no line. When you come late like this, there's not many people. That was awesome. We just ordered our parts. We got some fancy ARP manifold bolts.
Yes.
ARP. They're so
ARP.
fancy. Wow, we're treating Garfield.
Yeah.
So we just grabbed our parts. Actually, we ordered them, and then they come up at that counter right there. So we're gonna meander around here and see if we find anything else we can't live without.
Airplane.
Oh,
I might need that.
the kid might like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be grabbing parts soon. Alrighty, parts in hand. We're good to go. We still have to walk out of this massive store though without finding anything that we need. That's a feat.
The hard part.
These stores have so much. They're like a candy store for gearheads. Holy cow. Absolutely stellar Nova. Maybe someday we'll have a car on display at Summit.
Could happen.
We could have leaked some oil on the little twirly thing. All right, time to head on home. And it's a new day. There is the slave cylinder we need.
That's right.
Bang. So it's really nice. Right before I pulled my phone out to film, Aaron had said he's really excited about this slave cylinder because it's genuine GM parts.
Yep.
It's really nice that Summit offers genuine GM stuff because we like aftermarket, like performance stuff, but for this application, that's going to be really nice just to have a part we don't have to worry about.
Yep. On this guy here, there's a roll pin. So we knock that roll pin out, and then we put our fitting in there, knock the roll pin back in. She's good to go.
Because we've got the nice steel braided line, right? That's
Yeah.
why.
Yep. Yeah, I always try to run those when I can.
Cool. Going on, y'all. You didn't have any washers on this, right?
Nope.
Okay. This was so great that we didn't have to drop the bell housing and all that. Just pull the case away from it. Do our little jobber. Okay, they're both snug. Time to get that clutch line in place. Okay, here we go.
Yep, there we go.
I'm not giving them Duggas, I'm giving them like a not like a Ugga Dugga.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah, you don't slam it in.
and then I mean it's already like flush.
Did you get the shot?
Yeah, dude. Here I was thinking he was over here loving on the dog and he's filming me while I film myself looking like a total goober head. I look really serious when I'm filming, I guess. I was trying to do stuff. I was trying to keep progress, babe.
I was too.
You were petting the dog.
I wasn't. Do you have any film footage of that? Wasn't me. I was working, I was filming.
Yeah. Can't deny that. Anytime you get near Finley, he will get onto your lap and he will lock you in to a place that you can't get up. You feel like a jerk to make him move.
My arm's stuck.
Yeah, you can't get away. Oh, see his eyes getting sleepy? Then that's what'll happen. He gets sleepy, then you can't move. The situation has worsened. He's in the sleep pose now, and he is literally sleeping. He's playing sleep. Do you think he's really sleeping?
I don't know. Let's see. Finley. Finley. Hungry?
Oh dear. Finley, we have to get to work. I made you a bed with my June jacket. Sleep there, little dog. We must work. Yeah. I'm already getting a pedal. All right, clutch is bled. Aaron says that when I have the clutch all the way down, that he can turn the yoke. And so that means it's working. Yay. Okay, time to climb down. Oh. Gotta get that dog out first.
I can let you down.
Babe, you'll never let me down.
Yeah, right. Not today.
I'm gonna turn into the Tin Man and put some anti-seize on these bolts because man, they gave me a hassle. They're locked into this whole cross member situation, so they're like probably original. And they were rusty. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that on there in hopes that they don't give us that hassle if we ever have to pull this drive shaft again. But that freeze off did a good job on it, so yeah.
Yellow mark there, yellow mark there. Why does that matter? Because these yokes matters where they are. See, they're facing the same way. This one and this one.
Mm-hmm.
It'll vibrate if you get that off.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could.
Okay, we just sprayed a little bit of this copper gasket maker, this sealant on there, from Permatex, of course, because we want our intake gaskets to stay in place when we set it down. So we're gonna let that get tacky, and then it will be time to toss that intake in place. Check it out, I found our grip mat. I got our ARP bolts all ready, so beautiful. Okay. Instead of a time lapse of us doing this work, we're just gonna high five and have the carburetor and thermostat, water neck, and radiator hose all installed. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Okay, it's all back together, and we think it's time to hit the key.
Give her a puppy. See if we got fuel yet. Give it 3 or 4 kicks.
Okay, yeah, it seemed like she tried to kick off
Yeah.
for a sec.
All the way down. What am I missing? If the timing was off, it would still backfire or something. Try it there real quick.
Give it any kicks?
No.
Okay, we've got number 1 at top dead center. And now I'm trying to figure out if we feel like the button's pointed the right
Yeah.
direction.
I think it could go over a little bit more. I need to see what's on the cap though.
Fire!
Yeah, turn it over. All right, stop pumping.
I was trying to keep it running.
Try to start it.
Okay.
doing that? Try
I
it
mean,
again.
she's just like wanting to be on fire.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
That junk ain't right.
No. Try it again. Now we need a battery charger.
Battery charger.
Dang it.
Lord have mercy. Okay, giving this another shot. Want me to pump it any?
Yeah, give it a little bit.
Man, that sounded hopeful.
Okay, try it again.
So weird.
Try it again.
Said he's gonna give it a little more timing. Just the air pump kicking on back there. Huh. When did it go? Gosh. What in the... I guess it's a timing thing. Okay. He's moving the distributor cap.
Try to just let it idle.
Okay.
Pump it a few times and let it idle. That is weird.
Oh, the unforeseen troubleshooting. Y'all know how this goes. It's like, you feel like everything's gonna go together quickly. Bang, bang, bang. And then it doesn't. Oh, jeez. So he just felt the headers and he said 7 and 8, the 2 rear cylinders, are the only hot ones. Which it did sound like it was running on 2, so trying again. What? Oh, sorry.
Just took off on its own?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were running it, so I had my foot off.
No.
Oh. Hmm.
Why don't do that?
Why did it do that?
It's wide open. Try it again.
It came back down to idle on itself, on its own. I thought,
You didn't kill it?
no,
I thought you turned it off.
no, because I thought you were doing the throttle. I thought you had it wide open to get it started.
Try it again.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Okay.
Give it another shot.
Yeah.
Do you want me to give it pumps?
Whatever, just spin it.
What do you think it is, Finley? Okay, y'all. We just went and had Mexican food. We had to step away. It was like 1 o'clock and we hadn't eaten even breakfast. So, we're getting ready to take the valve cover off and be sure that we have the timing correct. Make sure that that number 1 piston's at top dead center. Take the valve cover off. Make sure both those rockers are loose.
and be sure that the distributor is stabbed properly, because dang, man, this one's fighting us. So, yeah, that's the plan.
We're at top dead center. We know that because we checked the compression. Those two rockers are loose. And it's marked on the crank down there. So when I set this cap on, this is number 1 right here. You can see the buttons ahead of it. So, I can pull this out again, clock it back one way, and see one tooth or whatever you call it. See where that lands. I think that's where it was before when it was making fire. But we'll see.
Well, Garfield's just making us earn it a little bit.
Everything was going way too smoothly.
Yeah, I know we need a registration sticker. It expired in 2019. Wow, that was a loud backfire.
Yeah.
The troubleshooting got to us. We just started calling friends. We chatted with David Newbern for a while, and he kind of was walking through all the diagnostics with us, and he's like, what's the clearance on the intake where it meets the block and then where it meets the head? And we started looking closely at it, and we're like, the intake is not flush against the heads. And then we started looking, and we're like, the runners are hitting a ledge on the head. So as we started looking closer, we saw that, yeah, it wasn't sealing properly. The intake was not sealing to the heads. So we popped that bad boy off, and we started doing measuring and looking at the intake that we pulled off versus this one. And yeah, these heads have some kind of different style where there's the ledge where the valve cover mounts, then there's a little drop down ledge, and that little ledge was keeping the intake from sealing properly. And the intake that we got was just a Summit brand for a 350. And yeah, something about these heads that are on this truck with that ZZ4 crate motor that's the center bolt, you know, different generation engine than what was originally in the truck, keeps us on our toes, man. This is what Newbern said. He's like, this is hot rodding, guys. Like, let me remind you, don't take this personally. Like, it's not your fault. This is hot rodding. We got vehicles that have different year models and different series of this and that, and it's like patchwork. So Aaron right now has the intake in the vise, and we are getting ready to clearance it.
Precision machine work.
So yeah, off we go. We are marking where this gasket hits, and likely going to say goodbye to some of this material here.
Yep.
Factory. It looks so good.
Gotta do.
What are you gonna do when you got weird parts? Yep. Just never know what you're gonna get into when you're in the shop. Wrenching on stuff, trying to make stuff happen, especially when you're trying to make it happen fast and it's an easy job. Careful. Black on either end, and hopefully hopefully that'll seal up for us.
The tube's fighting her because I accidentally left the lid off. My fault.
It's not abnormal. No, we don't have the gaskets in there anymore. But...
Mm-mm. Looks like it's clearing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a little bit more off of it, but we have to go get gaskets, so.
That looks good, Aaron.
Yeah, and it's not ugly either.
No. It actually looks pretty. Well, now that we know that the intake is going to fit, it's about 6 o'clock in the evening. Today was a bunch of troubleshooting for silly reasons.
These things, they're done for the day.
His arms are tired.
They're hurting pretty good.
So we're gonna call it a night. I actually have a modeling job tomorrow, so once I finish with that, I will be back here in the shop, but it's probably gonna be late into the evening. And Aaron may already have this intake on, carburetor on, cranked up, running. I mean, we've got fresh tires for the truck, and I mean, I'm not gonna say that tomorrow's gonna be easy and fast, but you may have all that done by the time I get off work.
Who knows?
But he's gonna film it, and you guys will be there with him, rooting him on, and we'll see y'all. He'll see y'all tomorrow.
It's a new day. It's just me in the shop today. Emily had to go to a modeling job. We got that intake fitting. I don't know what's up with our heads. This is a crate engine from GM, and something's different. So we just ground down that aluminum. There's plenty of meat left for the gasket to seal, and I'm gonna throw it back on here. I'll film some of it, but mostly it's just gonna be me throwing it together. We'll set the time, get it cranked up, and as soon as it runs and runs good, it's gonna be a big sigh of relief. And when Emily gets home, maybe we can load some tools up, get the truck ready to go. We gotta do things like grease the U-joints, the ball joints, all that kind of stuff, and just get this thing ready for the road. It's been sitting for almost 3 years. So let's do it. You can see real clearly right there, this is the metal I had to take off. That is just a real deep ledge. And so for some reason, it didn't work. But I'm gonna put the gaskets on this, run my bead of silicone down here like we always do, and on the back, and then get this thing bolted down, because I'm excited to hear it run. Carb, intake, distributors in, timing's roughed in. We'll fine tune that with the light at some point. But I'm ready to hit the key, but I'm not gonna hit the key. I got one of those trigger things from O'Reilly's. Hook it up so I can be out here cranking it. That way if it catches on fire, I'm not breaking my legs trying to get out of the truck. Seems like a good idea. Put you on a tripod and we'll try to crank it. One last look. I did get my wrench off the crank. Choke's hooked up. Distributor, I don't know, probably needs to be, we'll try it there. There's not gonna be fuel in it, or at least not much, but it still may fire up because I know that there was some left in those bowls. I can hear it squirting. It's in neutral, the key's on, and my starter is right here. So let's see what happens. Well, it's making a lot less noise now. That's good. Let's see if she wants a little more timing. Getting better. We still don't have fuel up here. that sounded way, way better. Timing's still off a little bit. That's okay. We'll put a light on it. We'll make sure it's right. I still think it's low on fuel, but I'm going to crack those idler screws just a little bit more. It's wanting a little bit more timing. However, where I've got the button in there, I can't go anymore. My vacuum advance is hitting the intake. So we'll move that 1 notch over and then we should be good. That's the timing. All right, I'm happy with that. Let me pull that distributor out, turn it 1 notch over, and then we'll have more adjustment. We'll get this thing idling. I'm stoked. So I pulled that distributor back out. I took the button, lifted it up obviously, took the button, turned it 1 notch and dropped it back down. At least I think it was 1 notch. Now I'm gonna turn the key on, try to fire it up again and see where we're at. If the timing's advanced enough, the idle should be too high for me and I'll have to turn it down, but we'll see when we get there. Let's see. That is way, way better. Perfect. I like it. Go. So I advanced the timing a little bit more. That's why you heard it rev up. So let's fire it up now and see if it chugs at all. A lot of times when the timing's too advanced, it'll kind of hesitate and then it'll go. But let's see what happens. That was it. You heard it kind of pause for a second and then go. So we're a little bit too advanced right now. That sounds good. Now let's bring our idle back down. Cool. Awesome. That smoke is just from the valve cover being off. Oil on the header, don't worry about it. Engine sounds good. Now I've got to put a fan on here because we robbed it off and put it on the Bronco. But I'm happy.
Well, I just got home and Aaron said that the truck runs better than it's ran ever. He said all we need to do is add some coolant to it and then I can hit the key. I'm so excited. I guess you guys have already heard it run, but I'm really excited to hear him run again. Well, let's do it. Let's add some cool factor and then we're gonna hit the key.
We're using the 50-50 stuff, so we don't have to worry about ratios and adding water and all that stuff.
You wanted a little throttle.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to give it some. I'll give it
stops to idle beautifully. That is great. Garfield's back and better than ever. That is so freaking awesome. I'm so proud of Aaron. Proud of us. I mean, I would have been here doing it too if I hadn't had prior engagements, but did it go faster because I wasn't here?
I went pretty fast.
Let me move the light. Let me move the shot. Let me get this. Let me get that. Let me shoot a TikTok. Let me make an Instagram story. I slow him down. But it's kind of a part of what I have to do as my job.
It's part of the job.
Well, I think we're going to wrap this here. Because Sick Week is going to be such an awesome trip, we're going to do some frequent uploads. We've got our buddy Dale. He is editing all of this stuff. Every episode that you've seen this year so far, the episode of us sitting down talking about the year, by the way, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's why we disappeared from YouTube for roughly 2 months, 3 months. We went through a lot of heavy stuff and we made it out better than ever, and we're so thankful. And y'all's support on that episode was just incredible. Y'all are the best. Thank you guys so much. And then we had the episode where we installed the lifts. We've already been doing so much good stuff this year and we're so stoked about it. So anyway, we will wrap this episode here and you guys will look forward to lots of Garfield content coming up. And Sick Week's going to be amazing. The coverage there is going to be really, really fun. Be sure you're following on social media. I'm Emily. Reeves is mine. Pilot Reeves is his. And Flying Sparks Garage. And also Peak Auto is one of the main sponsors of Sick Week. And I'm going to be doing a lot of coverage for them as well, like fun videos and stuff. So be sure you're following Peak Auto too. So I love y'all. We'll see you on the next episode. We got this. Yeah. See you soon. Bye.